Today, I am fortunate enough to be joined by the head coach of men's track and field here at MSOE, Bill Massoels, just hours away, less than 24 hours away from heading off to scenic Birmingham, Alabama.
Scenic.
For the Indoor Track National Championships. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to conference. Coaching staff of the year, you guys beat out the Green Knights, take home first place. Came down to the absolute wire. Walk me through conference a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Friday was a really good day. I mean, we put up 71 points. Had some sickness in the distance crew, so I'm really pleased with some of our other guys pulling through that. The pole vaulters netting 23 points, the weight guys getting 19. I mean, that was huge. So, Friday feeling pretty good about, where we're at with guys advancing to the finals and things like that. And then we go to the high jump, and Daniel on his first jump gets an impingement in his knee. He's down. He's going to get 3 points in the high jump, or 2. Not going to run the hurdles, not going to run the 60, not going to run the 200. Nana tweaked his hamstring in the triple jump on his third jump, so we shut him down. He's not running Saturday, so I go from up here to going, oh my goodness. And then we had some guys step up. AJ, who I know we're going to talk about, just, has his race plan in the mile. I'm just going to sit for 1,000 meters, and then I'm going to go. And not only did he go, he closed in 57 for his last 400. He pulls Jack and Chase to third and fourth place, or fourth and fifth place finish. The 3,000 guys rally. AJ in the 8. Cam Nenning has a huge long jump, a great 60. Sam and Jack pull through in the 60 hurdles. So now I go back to, okay, I think we're locked in. Mm-hmm. Had Norberts with no points in the 200. Boom, they get 3. So now I'm back down here. I had Norberts winning the 4x4, and I think they finished 4th, and we got 3 points instead of 2. So just an up and down roller coaster. I've told the guys all year in our goal meetings when we get back from meets that I can't put my finger on it, but this is a special group. This is a special group of guys in that locker room, and when we set up for practice, everybody pulling their weight to put the cage up, to put the mats up, to get that lunge up. So, just a great 2 days. I did tell Don, can he stink one year just so I don't have to get stressed out conference week, but he said no. So yeah, an up and down day, but last year indoor we lost by 6 to them, outdoor we lost by 3 to them, so I don't think it's ever going to be a blowout between the two of us. So.
Of course, and very rarely do you get to say that it's a team win in track, but that's truly the epitome of it.
Yep.
Every different spot, everyone stepping up when they needed to, maybe when they didn't expect to be, rising to the occasion. Talk to me a little bit about how hard is it to manage at this time of the year, dealing with that flu season stuff, especially at such a critical time of your season. Track is obviously a long season, but this is kind of like the mid-season NBA Cup to a certain extent.
Yeah, we talk about it as soon as we get back from holiday break in early January, start taking your emergency, start taking your airborne, start taking your vitamin. Like, we're constantly talking about it. I mean, about a month ago when we went and got lunch, our food for breakfast and lunch for me, I said, hey, buy some Lysol. So every day I go in the locker room and post the workouts. I'm spraying Lysol. So it is what it is. I don't want to say that no other university isn't studying, but I know the intensity of the study curriculum here. So that adds to it, like the sleep that they're not. So, we just got to keep harping on it, and everybody's dealing with it. It's we dealt with it the Wednesday of conference until Thursday of last week. It could have been this week, and
sure.
So I think everybody's dealing with it. It's just we've and the team leaders have been really good about harping on: are you taking your medicine? Are you taking your vitamins? Are you wiping down all your doors and all your tables in your resident hall, in your apartment? And so, but I've been dealing with it for 36 years with indoor, because it's mid to late February is when influenza comes, and hopefully we can figure something out. Maybe one of our guys goes and becomes a doctor and make some new emergency pill that will be okay. But it is what it is.
That'd be convenient if you did have that solution. You guys spent basically the past whole month at Ripon, it feels like. How does it feel to get out and get to Birmingham and maybe just enjoy a little bit of warm weather? We got teased yesterday. Yesterday was a nice day, but it's been a Milwaukee spring, which is non-existent for those who don't understand that. But
yeah, it's going to be, we love Ripon, and we're hoping to tweak the schedule next year. I've had, we'll have some conversations with lacrosse, see if we can get there that first week in February. I've been talking to MJ at Whitewater. Can we get in the Midwest Meet of Champions that next week? Ripon won't be the conference site next year. Parkside will, but a great venue. But I'm not going to lie, I'm tired of driving up 41 to exit 99, Fond du Lac, I just got. So it'll be nice to get to Birmingham. I think we have a couple guys that for various reasons we thought we'd get into nationals and we didn't. So we would have liked to have had a bigger contingent of Raiders competing. But I have two guys, and you're right. I looked at the forecast. I think it's 78 on Thursday, 79 on Friday, 80 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday. And then a winter storm watch here in Milwaukee. So when I get in on Sunday, I'm going to leave at 81, get in at 11 temperature-wise. But, any Midwesterners out there, if you don't like the weather, wait, it's going to change. So who knows? But people ask me all the time what my favorite indoor venue is, and the Crossplex in Birmingham is. I just love that venue. It's fast. The rings are great. So I'm excited to get back down to Birmingham. Great venue, and hopefully have some good performances.
Yeah, going to Ripon, it's got to feel like Groundhog Day at some point, because it's not a home venue, but you're still here. Teams are changing, so it's like you're getting a little bit of a different look. But man, it's gotta wear on you at some point. Yeah. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. You got two guys going to the nationals: AJ Springer, Daniel Geerts. Let's start with AJ. We mentioned him first. It's the 800, or what did we qualify for?
800.
I know, big track guy right here. But 800, I think sitting 12th right now. Talk to me a little bit about what his season has looked like and how he's trained to get to this point. And then how do you handle these next couple days? You got to sit in the car for 9 hours or so, or not 9 tomorrow, but 5 hours tomorrow. How do you handle dealing with tomorrow, dealing with Thursday? Talk to me as a coach how you plan that all out.
Yeah, so he's sitting 12th in the 8. We talked about doubling. That's a tough double indoor because you got the prelim. I think the mile prelim is at 250 and the 800 prelim is at 4. And he's a better 800 guy. When we get to outdoor, we'll double him because prelims in the 15 are Friday and the 8 are Thursday. Friday prelim 8 and then double up.
A little more recovery time than outdoor.
He will double. It's funny you say about this week. I looked at Daniel yesterday and I go, enjoy me saying this, because you got 2 weeks that I say this week and the week of outdoor nationals. You tell me how you're going to train. Mm-hmm. And he kind of looked at me and I go, the hay's in the barn. My job is just to not do anything stupid to get you hurt.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, AJ did his last really quality workout yesterday, did a handful of 400s just to stay sharp. Came in this morning for his secondary run this morning. We'll do a light recovery run, a little 7-mile run today, later on today.
Light 7-mile run later today for anyone else who's just dumbfounded.
I knew you were going to stop me at that. And then, tomorrow we'll get his primary in around 7 tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So then he can just rest and relax, get to the hotel, hop on. Typically his secondary run on Wednesday, because of his injury, is cross-trained to keep him healthy. So bike or elliptical.
Sure.
And then, Thursday, about 4.5-hour drive to the venue, get there, get a workout in. He's never run on a bank track, and people are always amazed the difference on a bank track when they get there. So we're going to get some stride outs on the bank, let him get comfortable with it. And then, now the hard part then becomes the Friday and Saturday, just a lot of sitting around.
Yeah.
How you going to deal with it's not a meet where you're there at 9 o'clock and competing at 2. Like Dan will run, I think he's 1:45 and AJ's 4 on Friday. and then Daniel's 10:40 Saturday final, and AJ's final isn't until 5 because of the bank and just how the venue is worked out.
Right.
So, that's kind of where we're at. So it's going to be nice. It'll be warm, probably on Saturday after hopefully Daniel becomes a first-team All-American. Take AJ, get some lunch, maybe just walk around, enjoy the warm weather, and get him locked back in. But I try and stay out of the way.
Sure.
When I get to this week and the week of outdoor nationals, you're just trying to lock them in and let them feel comfortable.
For sure. And I mean, you don't want to throw anything new. You don't want to throw off the routine as much as it's already being thrown off going into all the extraneous stuff you have going on with this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about Dan. 60 hurdles, sitting 8th right now?
15th.
15th. All right. Nearly double that.
But
still,
I think 8th he's 8:10 and 4th is 8:04.
That's what I was going to say. The separation in that one. I mean, he could push to really do some damage there. Talk to me a little bit about what he's faced this season. I know, like we said, a little bit of an injury scare at conference, but it sounds like he's ready to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was an injury scare. We didn't run AJ last week because he had a cold. And as a coach, you're worrying about, man, we're giving up an opportunity. What happens if he doesn't get in? Dan did the prelims, and then I shut him down. I'm going, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Now that we know we're in, I told both of them, I think that rest last week, like if we really like to be higher in the rankings going into the last week so we don't have to race. So we can actually use it as a training block and just stay fresh. So, some things there we couldn't. And I tell my guys all the time, God's got a plan. You don't have to like it. You just have to accept it. So, Dan did his last quality workout yesterday, and there was some apprehension, and I get it. And then he does one flight, and he's moving pretty well. He goes, I want to do one more, and honestly ran his fastest flight of 4 because we can only get 4 hurdles in on the Kern. His fastest flight in 2 years, so he knows he's ready. He's dealt with some injuries throughout the course of this season. I'm excited to see what he can do outdoor because, we kind of backed him off the 400 stuff for the 400 hurdles and just biked him. Our taller guys, we make some adjustments because of the tight turns here in the Kern. And I don't want to complain. We got a wonderful facility when it is crappy Milwaukee weather in the winter. We're able to train. But you just make some concessions with some taller guys. So he had class Monday and Wednesday last week from 4 to 5. So he really didn't get any 400 hurdle training in. So I'm excited to see what he could do. But just really focused on what those two guys can do this weekend because I think they're both ready. And the big thing is they believe they can do it on the big stage. So that's going to be great.
Talk to me a little bit about the mental side of getting prepared, because obviously you're throwing off the routine, you're combating all of that. Is there any way during practice to get the emotional, amp up that you would stepping onto the national stage? Is there any way to prepare for, okay, this is like the big shot? Like, what can you do in practice to up the adrenaline, so to speak?
There's really nothing you can do. I think the wonderful thing that's going to help us is that last year we took AJ and A Shaw and they'd never been to a national championship, and it is completely different. Like, you check in 80 minutes before your start. You're in the clerking tent 15 minutes before the start, and then they walk you out and you get 1 or 2 strides. And so I try and tell them on when we get there, hey, this is how it's going to. But until they live it, they don't know it. And that really helped A Shaw outdoor get to finals in the 1500 because he knew what to expect.
Sure.
I will tell AJ, on the drive down to get Dan locked into what he can expect being at net. Like, he's not. I think he does this on purpose. He waits till about 3 minutes before the event starts to get checked in, just to see if I'll lose my mind. And so he won't be able to do that. And he won't be able to be on the track doing block work in lane 6 or lane 8 like he does at every. So having AJ's experience in this is going to help Dan get acclimated to indoor nationals.
For sure. And then talk to me about, just as a coach, it's a weird spot because you're getting ready for nationals, but you got a whole crew of team that their focus is on outdoor. You're getting ready for outdoor. Talk to me about what that's like, a little bit of a balancing act right now, where two guys definitely deserve your full attention, but you also still have this whole other crew of guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we're hoping to get a half a dozen to a dozen guys to outdoor nationals, and so you're still locking them into their intensity level, and then we'll take our 7-day window. We'll start Wednesday, and they'll be off until the following Wednesday, and then start their training wherever they're at for spring break. But it is a unique challenge. It's very similar. We start our track season the week of NCAA cross country regionals. So you're part of your mind's going, okay, we're just starting, and so don't get too crazy with them because you're just getting them into track, and your cross country going, okay, they got to stay focused because it's the postseason. So it is a balancing act, and I think the wonderful thing is, the guys who aren't going know that my intention's with AJ and Dan, but AJ and Dan also know my intentions with the other guys to get more than two guys to nationals. And now we want to win the Triple Crown. Like we've won the first two stages. We run cross, we run indoor. Now we want to win outdoor, and then obviously have a lot more guys at outdoor nationals. And we're in our backyard. Lacrosse is outdoor nationals, and so that'll be fun to see how many guys we can get there. But you see where I'm at. Like part of my mind's going, okay, we got the first outdoor meet in two and a half weeks, but I'm trying to be locked in for indoor net. So it is a balancing act, and it's something that I enjoy doing because you have to balance the two. So it's kind of fun.
I was going to say, and like you said, in dealing with the cross country, in some ways you're used to it at this point. So, Coach, before I get you out of here, I have a question for the layman. What is the difference between indoor season and outdoor season, to you at least? How does that affect things? What does that change, other than I think you literally use different shot puts if you're a thrower?
Right. Yeah, it changes because we are built as an outdoor team.
Okay.
And by that I mean we literally could go 1 through 5 in the steeplechase. We're not going 1 through 5 in the Open 3000. We literally go 1 through 4 in the 10,000. Well, there is no there. I mean that if you go
Fair.
1 through 4. I think that's 29 points in an event that we don't even have
during the indoor season. Okay.
We're built for 400 hurdles, which we don't have indoor. We got the runner-up in the disc, which we don't have indoor, and the guy that won the disc at conference graduated. So we're always built for outdoor, and I don't know why I don't know why I say that, because we don't have an outdoor track, we have an indoor track.
Right.
You would think you'd be built for indoor, but it's just the clientele that we like. Our 5 steeplechasers love the steeplechase, can take or leave the Open 3000.
Yeah.
Our 5,000 guys are, you're either 5,000 and you're okay in the 10, or you're really good in the 10 and okay in the 5. We're really good in the 10 and pretty solid in the 5. So, we are built for outdoor, to be a little bit more opportunistic once we get outside if the weather cooperates.
For sure. Well, Coach, wishing you, Dan, and AJ all the best of luck at Birmingham at the at the Indoor National Championship. See, I'm getting ahead of myself now. Enjoy the car ride. Enjoy practice. Staying in Indiana, I believe.
Yep.
Your stomping ground.
Yep,
Gonna love that. And like I said, best of luck to you and the whole team as you get ready for outdoor as well.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate the time.